There is something troubling happening, and most people are barely noticing the shift. A city connected to music stars like Fantasia Barrino and the legendary group Jodeci. Picture that it is the 1990s and every radio station is playing Forever My Lady. Life is good. People are in town for the NCAA event, and somewhere someone's grandmother is cooking pulled pork and coleslaw on a hot summer's day. That was the old days. Now something is definitely off. Charlotte is a place known for banking, booming development, and professional sports. For years, Charlotte was promoted as one of the rising centers of Black prosperity in the South. Black professionals moved there seeking opportunity. Families relocated for better schools, careers, and a chance to build wealth. But behind the shiny new apartment towers, luxury developments, and nonstop construction cranes, something else is happening. The demographics are changing. Neighborhoods that were once overwhelmingly Black are beginning to look very different. New residents are arriving. Property values are skyrocketing. Rent prices continue climbing. Entire communities that helped build Charlotte's culture are being pushed farther from the city's urban core. Today, Scope News decided to do a deep dive and investigation. Is Charlotte's Black population actually declining, or is something more complicated happening beneath the surface? The answer may surprise a lot of people. For years, Charlotte has been viewed as one of the success stories of the New South. Major corporations moved into the city. Banking giants established enormous operations. Tech jobs expanded. Young professionals poured into Mecklenburg County from across the country. At first glance, the numbers appear encouraging. You see, the Black population in Charlotte has continued to grow in raw numbers. Estimates suggest the city's Black population has increased since the last census. Today, Black residents still make up approximately 30% of Charlotte's population. But statistics can sometimes hide a deeper story. While the total number of Black residents has increased, their share of the city's overall population has gradually declined. Years ago, Black residents represented closer to 35% of Charlotte's population. Today, that percentage has slipped as Hispanic, Latino, Asian, and white populations have grown at faster rates. In other words, the Black population isn't necessarily disappearing citywide. However, many historically Black neighborhoods are, and that's where the story becomes far more concerning. The numbers become even more alarming when you zoom in beyond the citywide headlines. At first glance, Charlotte appears to be a success story. The Black population continues to grow in raw numbers, and Black residents still make up roughly 30% of the city's population. But when investigators begin looking beneath the surface, a different picture starts to emerge. Years ago, Black residents accounted for closer to 35% of Charlotte's population. Today, that percentage has slipped downward as other populations have grown at a faster pace. Meanwhile, Charlotte's Hispanic population has surged to approximately 16 to 17% of the city's residents, making it one of the fastest growing demographic groups in the region. But the biggest changes aren't happening on spreadsheets. They're happening on city blocks. According to demographic studies examining Charlotte's historic Black neighborhoods, some communities have experienced stunning population shifts in just a single decade. Biddleville, one of Charlotte's most historically significant Black neighborhoods, lost nearly 29% of its Black population between 2010 and 2020. Similar trends have appeared throughout portions of the West End and other historically Black areas surrounding the urban core. At the same time, Mecklenburg County continues attracting newcomers at an astonishing pace. Recent estimates show that more than 150 new residents are moving into the Charlotte region every single day. New apartment complexes continue rising. New housing developments continue expanding. Investors continue purchasing property. And with every new arrival, competition for housing grows even more intense. For longtime residents, the concern goes far beyond statistics. Rents are increasing. Home prices continue climbing. Property taxes are rising. Developers are transforming entire neighborhoods. Immigration patterns, domestic migration, corporate expansion, and redevelopment projects are all reshaping Charlotte at the same time. The result is a city where many Black families who spent generations building communities are finding themselves pushed farther from the neighborhoods they helped create. Churches lose longtime members. Family-owned businesses struggle to survive. Historic cultural centers begin to look unrecognizable. The question many residents are asking isn't whether Charlotte is growing, and another question is who benefits from that growth. For some longtime residents, it feels as if the city they built is slowly slipping away, while a new Charlotte rises in its place. To understand what is happening, it is necessary to look beyond citywide population totals and examine neighborhood-level changes. Historically, Black communities near Charlotte's urban core have experienced dramatic transformations over the last 2 decades. Areas such as Biddleville, Wesley Heights, Enderley Park, or Wilmore, and sections of the West End once served as important cultural and economic centers for Black Charlotte. These neighborhoods were home to generations of Black families who survived segregation, built churches, created businesses, and established strong community networks during eras when opportunities elsewhere were restricted. But as Charlotte grew, developers began looking at these neighborhoods differently. What once were overlooked communities suddenly became prime real estate. New luxury apartments appeared. Historic homes were purchased and renovated. Property taxes have increased alongside investors that have recently arrived, and many longtime residents found themselves facing difficult decisions. Some sold because property values skyrocketed. Others left because rents became unaffordable. Many simply could not keep pace with the rapid cost increases sweeping through their neighborhoods. This process has a familiar name: gentrification. Supporters often argue that redevelopment improves neighborhoods, increases property values, and brings new investment. Critics argue that the benefits frequently come at the expense of the very people who built those communities in the first place. For many Black residents, Charlotte's growth has become a double-edged sword. The city is thriving, but staying there is becoming increasingly expensive. As a result, many Black families aren't necessarily leaving the region altogether. They're moving outward. Instead of living near Charlotte's center, many are relocating to outer Mecklenburg County and surrounding suburban communities where housing remains relatively more affordable. This creates an interesting paradox. Charlotte can show growth in its Black population while simultaneously seeing declines in historically Black neighborhoods. Both statements can be true at the same time, and they are. The result is a city where the geography of Black Charlotte is changing. Places that once served as cultural anchors are becoming less Black, while suburban areas are seeing increasing Black migration. The issue is not whether Charlotte can maintain the cultural identity that helped make it attractive in the first place. Importantly, demographic change does not just focus on only numbers. It also deals with culture and history alongside community memory. When longtime residents leave, churches lose members. Family-owned businesses close. Neighborhood traditions disappear. Landmarks that carried generations of stories become expensive properties marketed to newcomers who may have no connection to the area's past. The larger question facing Charlotte is whether growth can occur without displacement. Can a city become wealthier while preserving the communities that helped build it? Can development coexist with affordability? Will Charlotte remain a destination for Black opportunity if many Black residents can no longer afford to live in the neighborhoods their families once called home? Those questions remain unanswered, but one thing is clear. The story isn't simply that Charlotte's Black population is shrinking. The reality is more complicated. The total Black population continues growing. Yet historically, Black neighborhoods are losing residents. The city is becoming more diverse, but it is also becoming more expensive. And for many longtime residents, the Charlotte they once knew is slowly changing before their eyes. Scope News will continue monitoring the demographic transformation taking place across Charlotte and the broader American South, because sometimes the biggest stories aren't found in headlines. They're found in the neighborhoods quietly changing one block at a time. Scope News tells the truth. Here are the facts. Special thanks to the U.S. Census Bureau, Charlotte Urban Institute, Mecklenburg County Demographic Reports, Housing Studies, and local reporting documenting population shifts, redevelopment, and neighborhood changes throughout Charlotte, North Carolina. Legal disclaimer. This content is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes. The views expressed are based on publicly available information and demographic data available at the time of publication. Population trends and housing conditions may change over time. Viewers are encouraged to conduct their own research and review original sources. Viewer discretion is advised.